Aloha e Nahomana, and welcome to another exciting math video. Today is lesson 4.2, where we will be exploring adding with regrouping. Today's learning target is I can fluently use the standard algorithm for addition when adding multi-digit whole numbers up to 999,999. Now, this word, fluently, is really important because in order to use the standard algorithm for addition fluently, that means that you need to be really good at regrouping. In order to better understand, let's take a look at this first example. Let's add 4,657 and 3,804. Well, if you remember from our last video together, when we want to add the numbers up, it is super important that we line up all the place values. So I'm going to start by writing 4,657. And underneath that, I'm going to write the second number, and I'm going to try to line up the place values. So line up the thousands place, the hundreds place, the tens place, and the ones place. Now, when we add, we always start from the ones place. So let's go ahead and add 7 plus 4. Well, if we think about 7 plus 4, we know that is 11. So I'm going to write an 11 down here. Well, when we add 5 and 0, we really know that this 5 stands for 50, and this 0 is, well, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and write 50 beneath that. Next, when I add 6 plus 8, I know that I'm really adding 600 and 800 together. When I think about 600 and 800, I know that together, that makes 1,400. So I'm going to write 1,400. And last but not least, when I add 4 plus 3, I know that I'm really adding 4,000 plus 3,000 together. And together, that makes 7,000. And so when I add everything all together, I get 1, 6, 4, and 8. So my sum is 8,461. But as many of you know, when we add with the standard algorithm, we actually skip a lot of these steps and we combine them and we regroup. So I'm going to rewrite the problem again. Time, I'm going to use the standard algorithm. So I'm going to go ahead and add 7 plus 4. And again, I know that makes 11, but I know that 11 is made up of 1 10 and 1 1. So I'm going to put that 1 1 here in the ones place, and that extra 10 I'm going to write up here in the tens place. Now I'm going to add the 5 tens here to the 0 tens here, which makes 5 tens, but I'm also going to add that 10 that I got when I added 7 plus 4. So 5 plus 1 makes 6. Then I'm going to add the hundreds place. So 6 hundreds plus 8 hundreds, I know is 14 hundreds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 4, which represents 400. And what happened to that other part of the number? Well, it's going to go up into the thousands place. So 400 here, and that extra 1,000 I'm going to write up here in the thousands place. And then I'm going to add all the thousands together. 4 thousands plus 3 thousands, which is 7 thousands, plus the extra 1,000 that I got from adding the hundreds to get a total of 8,461. So what did we do here? Well, we regrouped. So what exactly does it mean to regroup? Well, to regroup means to compose or decompose ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so forth. Now, you may be thinking, compose and decompose, those are some interesting words. Well, compose simply means to put together, And decompose simply means to break down or to break apart. So what do we mean by regrouping? Well, for example, we know that 10 ones is equal to 110. We also know that 10 tens is equal to 100. So this would be an example of composing numbers, where we take a bunch of pieces and put them together. Decomposing would be like the fact that 1,000 equals 10 hundredths, and 100 is the same as 10 tenths. So when we compose, we take a bunch of pieces and put them together to make one big piece. When we decompose, we take the one big piece and break it up into a bunch of smaller pieces. Let's go ahead and see some regrouping in action. Here's a problem. A video game company sells 5,680 copies of its new game on the first day and 3,235 copies on the second day. In those 2 days, how many copies of the game does the company sell? Go ahead and pause the video and try to solve the problem. When you're ready to check your answer, hit the play button and see if you're correct. Are you ready to see if you're right? Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide what two numbers I'm going to add together. As I can see from my problem, I'm going to add 5,680 and 3,235. So, like I remember from my last video, it's super important that I do what? That's right, line up the place values. So, I'm going to write 5,680, and right below that, I'm going to line up 3,235, making sure all the place values match. So let's start adding, starting again from the ones place. I have 0 ones plus 5 ones, and that just stays as 5 ones. Next, I have 8 tens and 3 tens, which together makes 11 tens, or 110. So I'm going to leave the 110 here in the tens place, and that extra 100 I'm going to put up here above the hundreds place. Now I'm going to add the 600s and the 200s together, but I'm not going to forget the extra 100 from when I added the tens. So 6 plus 2 plus 1 gives me a total of 9 hundredths. And lastly, I'm going to add the thousands place. 5,000 plus 3,000 gives me a total of 8,000. Let's recap. Hopefully regrouping is nothing new to you because I know you've seen it in previous grades. It's just that in 4th grade, we're going to be regrouping with larger numbers. Again, in order to fluently use the standard algorithm, it's important that we get really, really good at regrouping our numbers, which means to be able to decompose or break apart and compose or put together. Mahalo for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.